For years, the Gaither Vocal Band has been one of the most beloved groups in Southern gospel music. Founded by Bill Gaither, this group has welcomed many talented singers over the decades. Each one left a mark on the hearts of Christian music fans. Among the most well-known members are Guy Penrod and Reggie Smith. Both men brought powerful voices and humble spirits to the stage. But over time, fans started asking questions. Why did they leave the Gaither Vocal Band? Was there a disagreement or conflict behind the scenes? Did something happen between Guy Penrod and Reggie Smith that caused tension? These questions floated around on social media and in YouTube comments. Some even suggested that there might be a hidden feud. But the truth is much more peaceful and inspiring than any rumor. Both men walked away on their own terms, following their personal callings and trusting in God's plan. In this video, we will explore the real story behind their exits, what they are doing now, and how their ministries continue to touch lives. Let's take a closer look at how two voices from the same group ended up following different, yet equally powerful paths. Guy Penrod is a name that gospel music lovers will never forget. With his long flowing hair, cowboy charm, and a voice that touched the soul, Guy became a symbol of Southern gospel during his time with the Gaither Vocal Band. He joined the group in 1995 and stayed until 2008, becoming a fan favorite and a spiritual leader on stage. His performances weren't just musical, they were worship experiences. Songs like The Old Rugged Cross and Because He Lives carried extra meaning when Guy sang them. But after more than a decade with the group, Guy felt God calling him in a new direction. In 2008, he made the decision to leave the Gaither Vocal Band, not because of a conflict, but to begin a solo ministry. Bill Gaither and the entire team supported his choice, proving that their bond was based on respect and shared faith. In 2010, Guy released his first solo album, Breathe Deep, which became a success. His next album, simply titled Hymns, topped gospel charts and connected deeply with listeners around the world. Even after leaving the band, Guy has returned many times for Gaither homecoming events. He has remained close to the Gaither family, continuing to spread the message of Christ through music. His concerts, filled with country gospel and classic hymns, have drawn thousands and inspired even more. Today, at age 62, Guy continues to minister with strength and humility, showing that his journey was never about fame, it was about following God's voice. Reggie Smith may not have the same media spotlight as Guy Penrod, but within the gospel community, his name carries deep respect. A talented vocalist and musician, Reggie has been part of the Gaither family since the early 2000s. He often performed with his wife, Lady Love Smith, forming a dynamic duo that brought tenderness and strength to every stage they stood on. Though he wasn't always a full-time member, Reggie was a trusted voice in both live shows and studio recordings. In 2017, the Gaither Vocal Band officially welcomed him as a full-time member, a move that fans widely celebrated. His rich tone, musical skill, and calm presence made him a favorite among longtime gospel listeners. Over the years, Reggie continued to serve with grace, never seeking the spotlight but always contributing deeply to the ministry. In more recent times, Reggie and Lady have shifted their focus toward personal ministry work and vocal coaching. Like Guy, Reggie has not made any public statements about conflict or division. Instead, he continues to speak positively about his time with Gaither music. He attends occasional homecoming events and remains a beloved figure in Christian music circles. His journey is another example of how ministry can evolve over time. Some seasons are for group work, others are for individual missions. Reggie's quiet strength, musical excellence, and heart for service continue to bless audiences around the world, even outside the spotlight of the Gaither stage. If you've followed the Gaither Vocal Band for years, you've likely noticed a lot of changes in the lineup. This isn't a sign of trouble, it's part of the band's unique tradition. Many great singers have come and gone, including Mark Lowry, David Phelps, Michael English, Marshall Hall, and Russell Taff. In almost every case, their reason for leaving has nothing to do with drama. Most of the time, singers move on because they feel called to focus on other areas of life. Some want to pursue solo careers. Others feel drawn to pastoral work or family commitments. Health issues or travel fatigue also play a role. Life on the road can be rewarding but also exhausting. The constant touring, long nights, and time away from loved ones can take a toll. The Gaither Vocal Band understands this reality, and the team has always shown respect for those who decide it's time for a new chapter. It's important to understand that gospel music is more than just performance, it's a form of ministry. And ministry, like life, moves in seasons. What works for one person in one stage of life may no longer fit in another. That's not failure, it's growth. So when artists like Guy Penrod or Reggie Smith step away, it's not about leaving behind a group. It's about stepping forward into God's next assignment. These transitions should be celebrated, not questioned, especially when they lead to deeper service and new opportunities for ministry. One of the biggest myths circulating on social media and YouTube comments is the idea that Guy Penrod and Reggie Smith had a falling out. This rumor likely grew out of speculation and people trying to find drama where there is none. The truth is, there is no public evidence, no interviews, and no official statements that suggest any kind of disagreement or tension between the two men, or between them and the Gaither family. In fact, both Guy and Reggie have spoken lovingly and respectfully about their time with the Gaither Vocal Band. In a 2010 interview with CBN, Guy Penrod said, "My life was greatly impacted by the Gaither Vocal Band, and I will always be appreciative of the chances and memories we shared." That doesn't sound like someone who left angry or hurt. Likewise, Reggie Smith once said during a Gaither homecoming taping, "Bill and Gloria have produced something lovely that inspires hope in others. Being a part of that is an honor." These statements reflect gratitude, not bitterness. Sometimes the internet feeds off drama, and people may create stories just to get clicks. But it's important to separate truth from fiction, especially when dealing with Christian artists who have lived their lives in service to God. The real story here isn't one of division. It's one of purpose, peace, and faith-led decision-making. Many fans understandably feel sad when their favorite singer leaves a group like the Gaither Vocal Band. These artists become part of our lives through music, worship, and shared memories. But it's important to remember that ministry happens in seasons. What God asks of someone in one season may shift in the next. And when faithful servants like Guy Penrod or Reggie Smith choose to follow that new calling, it's not a betrayal of the past, it's a deep obedience to God. Change can feel uncomfortable, but it's often where growth happens. The Gaither Vocal Band has always understood this. That's why the group has never centered itself on one person. It's not about one voice, one face, or one name. It's about a shared mission, to spread hope, healing, and the love of Jesus through music. When someone steps out to pursue their own ministry, that mission doesn't end, it continues in a different form. Guy now reaches audiences worldwide through solo concerts and albums. Reggie uplifts others through coaching, mentoring, and ministry with Lady Love. Their work is different, but the purpose is the same. And that purpose is what truly matters. In today's world, where every move by a public figure is dissected online, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing rumors. But for those of us who follow the message of Christ, we are called to focus on unity, not division. Both Guy Penrod and Reggie Smith are examples of what it looks like to follow God's leading with humility and grace. They didn't make sudden or selfish choices. Their decisions were likely the result of years of prayer, reflection, and spiritual counsel. And the impact of their ministries speaks for itself. Their voices have filled stadiums, churches, and homes with comfort, joy, and faith. Their songs have brought peace to the grieving, strength to the weary, and celebration to the joyful. That kind of impact doesn't stop when someone changes roles, it continues in new forms. We should remember that the goal of gospel music is not fame. It's about healing hearts, lifting souls, and glorifying God. Guy and Reggie have never stopped doing that. They just took different paths to continue their calling. Let's honor their choices and thank God for the gifts they've shared, and still continue to share. When we look at the lives of singers like Guy Penrod and Reggie Smith, it's important to realize that what we see on stage is only a small part of their story. The applause, the cameras, and the sold-out shows may seem like the highlight, but for both men, the true victories often happen in quiet, unseen places. These victories include late-night prayer sessions on the road, counseling a fan after a concert, or comforting someone who found healing through a song. These acts may never trend on social media, but they matter deeply in God's kingdom. Guy and Reggie are not just musicians, they are ministers. And like all faithful ministers, they have learned to follow where the Spirit leads, even when the path is not easy or popular. Many fans assume that success in gospel music means staying in the spotlight forever, but real spiritual maturity often involves stepping back when the time is right. That kind of wisdom comes with experience, faith, and the willingness to obey God's voice over human applause. It also means learning to serve in new ways, away from center stage. Reggie now uses his gifts to train and encourage young Christian vocalists. Guy continues to minister through solo albums, church events, and country gospel shows that feel more like worship gatherings than concerts. Their efforts may look different now, but their mission remains the same. In a world hungry for quick answers, many viewers look for scandal instead of truth. They may say, "Why did he leave?" or "Did something bad happen?" because controversy grabs attention. But what often gets ignored is the beauty of peaceful transition, of knowing when to say goodbye without bitterness, and choosing to walk a path of purpose rather than pride. That's what Guy and Reggie have done. Their decisions weren't rushed or reckless. They were thoughtful, prayerful, and grounded in a deep desire to keep serving the Lord. That kind of faith is powerful. It reminds us that ministry is not about being seen, it's about being faithful. The Gaither Vocal Band continues to thrive today, not because of one singer, but because of the shared heart behind the music. And part of that strength comes from the example set by former members like Guy Penrod and Reggie Smith, who chose the path of peace, purpose, and quiet obedience. As fans, our job is not to speculate or stir rumors, but to honor their journey, thank them for their service, and celebrate the new ways they continue to bless others. After all, the kingdom of God is built not by fame or headlines, but by the faithful actions of those who keep singing, even when the stage lights dim.